To me, Steve was the epitome of class. Just a first-class individual. That timeliness for a solid year. Every morning, or every Sunday morning, when we'd head off to church, we'd see Steve jogging up in an all-rubber jogging suit, coming up either Shallowford or Peyton, and depending upon where we saw him, we knew whether we were on time for church or running a little bit behind.
Hey Kelly, just want to tell you that in my 6 years of experience with Steve, I've never met anybody that's more authentic and more true to himself, to his family, to his faith.
My dad had lots of high blood pressure, but
I already missed him.
He died unexpectedly at 80.
Hey Kelly, I love Steve. He's a good friend, and I miss him terribly already today. And you know this, that he had a big heart, and it was fun to work with him on the 100-day stuff in Rwanda, and I always knew that he was there, that he cared about those kids, what we were doing. He was a good friend that I could always call on to bounce stuff about, talk with him. He was a great man. He was a good friend. He was my friend, and I miss him.
Hey Kelly, I got to tell you, the first time I remember meeting Steve was we were at an open house. We were looking at a home, and I think you and Steve were looking at a home too. And I remember you and Katie knew each other, and I didn't know you. And I remember Steve walking up, and Steve was wearing, I think he just come from the gym. And Steve was wearing like his workout pants and his workout shirt, and it was sleeveless. And of course he was like more healthy than I could ever imagine myself being at the time. And I was like, holy smokes, who is this guy? And that was my first impression of Steve. He was all bucked up in his workout outfit that day. And of course, became great friends after that. And we're all thinking about it.
Hey Kelly, I was just remembering a time where we were all riding our bikes together. And I think I've told you this story before, and all of a sudden, this guy with bulging biceps rides past me. That big. None of us have those kind of arms, and as I looked over to my right, here comes Steve with this bulging biceps, and I just remember that special time. He was a special friend to me, and you were a special person to me.
Steve was the cool dude. He was the guy we all wanted to be, and you're probably not going to hear that from just me. You're probably going to hear it from others as well.
Hey Kelly, love you, and really miss Steve, and you know how we feel. So anything you need from Susan and me, we love you.
We didn't mean to work you that hard this morning, brother. I miss you a lot. I wish you were here with us, but we'll keep on going. Peace out.
Hey Kelly, here in I just want to let you know that I really appreciate you. I have traveled all my life. I've met lots of people. Your dad was a guy. I got to know him. He was somebody that I would really love to just be more like. He's a marvelous Christian, a wonderful family man, a great husband, and a great dad. He's going to be missed. Just want you to know.
Hey, it's Eric Lang. I want you to know the last conversation I had with Steve this week, and I represent him as a lawyer. Our last call has nothing to do with his business and everything to do with the work he's doing for others. He wanted me to help him out on reforming some charitable organizations, get him qualified so he can help other people. That's what Steve is all about. I want to add something to that. Every year we have, for the national championship football game, a party at my house. Every year Steve comes. For whatever reason, although all the slips are picked out of a hat, everything is random, for whatever reason, Steve always won money. A guy like that is blessed. A guy like that, he remembers for what he did, what he got because of what he did. We love you, Steve.
I want you to remember what Steve taught about you. And I just have one thing. We all felt that Steve was, and you too, were like superior. I just remember Steve saying, didn't we choose well? He was looking through times like I'll be right. It was a real fun time. That was it. I just wanted to
Okay, I got to keep it short because of the boohoo factor, but Steve was a class act and a good friend.
Hey, Kelly, Mira, and Paige. I'll always remember our trip to Holly's Island. Great week. Y'all's meal was by far the best cooked from all three of the families. But also, I always remember Steve. I know it's crazy, but he always looked like Bono. I referred to him as Bono. Great guy. He'll be missed, and we love him.
Hi, Kelly, girls. You know, your dad had the most guts. He was a terrible cyclist. He was a great athlete. He was a classy guy. I mean, the most good attitude, good-natured guy. But I was humbled at watching him come out and ride that bike and go from being off the back to being hanging on the back to pulling up through the crowd over weeks and months, and just the sheer guts and determination, and yet never with an attitude. He was never out to prove anything to anybody, and that was just inspiring.
I want to say that not only was Steve a great friend, but an unbelievable role model. That's one guy that I looked up to. He kept himself in great shape. He was somebody that you always kind of modeled yourself after. He's going to be truly missed. Great individual.
Damn it, Steve. You're one of my favorite guys. Had a lot of fun every time I was around you. Had great memories. I can't picture you without thinking about you with a smile on your face, and that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And also remember when you first came out riding with us, you were lagging a little bit behind. You were perhaps last. Actually, that would be the technical term. But as time has gone on, you moved up, you worked it, you were constantly working it, and we've had such a great time having you part of this group, and of course for the last, I think, 16 years, having you part of our lives, and we miss you, man.
Here's to you, Steve.
Possibilities around.
You're who I want to be. Thank you.
Hi, Kelly. Obviously, you don't need to say a whole lot, but one of the things I wanted to tell you is we had a great gathering of people here. There were probably 40 people here when we started. And I would bet that half the group would tell you that Steve was their best friend. And that's probably the best compliment that I could ever give somebody at any time. So you should be really proud of your husband, the life he led, the father that he was, the husband he was. We all love him. Yeah, we miss him.